There? Cool. Hello, how are you? Happy Wednesday. It's Block of the Week day. And it's a beautiful sunny day out there, which, kind of makes you hopeful. The fact I got 4 days off this weekend, but apparently it's going to change. Apparently it's going to rain all weekend. Phooey. Typical, isn't it? Because it was beautiful. Walked over to the shop and the sun was on my skin. It was like, feels like spring's in the air properly. So, right, got loads of bits to go through with you today before we get going. We've got a block to do, but a couple of little bits to tell you all. So, there'll be a newsletter going out either tomorrow or Friday, and there will be an offer on the newsletter, okay? Quite a substantial offer. So if you want to get the offer on a website over the Easter weekend, make sure you've signed up to the newsletter. If you've previously signed up for it, then you will still be in our database. But if you haven't signed up for it yet, you can just sign up for it for 1 month if you want. Read it, look at the offer, use the offer, and subscribe. If you don't want to be, not that we bombard anybody, I think there's only like one a month, so it's not a lot of emails. And it's not like some companies where you get one a day. God, we wouldn't have time for one a day. But anyway, so there will be an offer going on the website, which is on the newsletter. So make sure you've signed up to that one. I'm going to do a challenge post today as well. So we have been donated this beautiful sewing machine bag. It's a John Lewis one. It's brand new and it carries your sewing machine round in. I'm sure some of you may already have sewing machine bags, but you've got a beautiful zipped pocket in there and all for keeping all your bits and pieces in. Lovely. I love this blue paisley. It's gorgeous. It's a really lovely silky feel to it as well. So it was donated to us, so we thought we'd give this away, okay? So I'm going to do a challenge post. So I'll put that on when we get back, just like we've done other challenge posts before. But we thought we would do, show us your favourite block, okay? So I'm going to put a post on our Facebook page, and all you've got to do is pop a picture on there of your favourite block you've ever made. It doesn't have to be one of our blocks. It could be something you've done with a different tutor, or something you've made up, or anything at all. It could be the Friendship Star block. It could be anything, okay? So show us your favourite block, and then we will pull a winner out for this beautiful, it's really lovely. It's got little feet, metal feet on the bottom and everything, so that it's staged. You've got a pocket at the front, zipped pocket in there. Really beautiful John Lewis sewing machine bag. So we're going to give that one away. Okay, so that's going to be your challenge post. What else have I got to tell you? Oh, we've got a daily deal. It is a daily deal. It's a daily deal. These came into the shop. They're beautiful. These are new from Riley Blake. And Alda, if you can come down for these, hun. These are called, I'm going to open them out. These are called Blue Stitch. And they are the most gorgeous blue. They really are. So you've got this lovely sort of, it's like a cornflower blue with a little geometric design on it. This one, hopefully you're going to be able to read this. It's worded, I love wording. Happiness is handmade, sewing mends the soul, one stitch at a time. You've got lovely little, a navy with white words on it. Okay. And then we've got some beautiful florals. So again, they're all from the same range. They are Riley Blake. It's called, Blue Stitch. They're normally $12.50 a metre, but we're going to do a little fat quarter bundle. So I like this one because it looks like they're stitched. Look at that. It's beautiful. Really lovely. And then there's this lovely, that cornflower blue. Like a forget-me-not. Oh, they are like little forget-me-nots, aren't they? Like little forget-me-not blue. Really pretty. Really pretty. So it's 5 fat quarters. And we'll do it for £14, just like we did those fat quarter bundles last week. Sarah's going to put them on the deal for the daily deal page for me. So I think she might have done that by now. So have a little look. We haven't got that many. I think there's only about 10 or 12 of the bundles. Okay, so yeah, have a little look at that for me if you like blues. And who doesn't? Who wouldn't like those? Yummy. Loving that. So. That was everything to tell you. Was that everything I had to tell you? Newsletter, challenge post, which I'll put on when we get back, and that new fat quarter bundle. I think that's it. So we're going to do a block. Oh, I haven't said hello to everybody. See, so many things to tell you. I forgot to say hello. Who's there, Al?
We got highs from Margaret.
Hi, Margaret.
Angela, Marion.
Hi, Angela. Hi,
Carolyn.
Maria. Carolyn.
Taryn,
Jean. Lovely. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. So we did a couple of weeks ago, that was the other thing I've got to tell you. You've got till tonight. So we've had, I think, 42, 47, something like that. Shana, remind me. People sign up to do the Friendships Star swap, that mini make swap that we talked about last week. We've had quite a few people sign up. So we will be sorting that out. So you've got till tomorrow, to sign up. So if you wanted to have a go and take place in the swap, make sure you fill out that Google form. Okay, so we've got your details. And then we'll pair everybody up randomly and let everybody know of the weekend who they're going to be sending their block to. And then you've got the whole of April then to get it sent out. So we've seen a few things on the Gigglers and they're looking lovely. So I knew there was something else I had to tell you. So yeah, make sure if you want to join in, you've done that by tomorrow. Okay. The other thing, no, not another thing. The thing we're going to do today, see, my brain is like, it's because I'm a happy bunny. It's all over the place. 2 weeks ago, we did a cat block, didn't we? We did a little block where we made a little pussy cat. So I thought today we'd do a puppy dog. So this is Squat Dog, because he's a little fat squat dog. So we're going to have a little go at this. There were lots and lots of versions out there of a little sort of Scotty dog type patchwork block. But they were all, so I'm going to lie him down flat because it's probably a bit easier. They were all quite fat. This piece was all really, really big. So, and they didn't have a bow tie on. And I quite liked him with a little bow tie. So I've rewritten it and changed some of the sizing to make it how I wanted it to look like. So this is Squat Dog. So we're going to do this today for those dog lovers out there, because we did a cat one the other day, so I thought we'd do a dog one. Hopefully this is going to please Sonia, because Sonia really wanted to do a dog. So
Sonia just said I like him with.
Excellent. See, right? Okay, I need my list for this because there are quite a few pieces. Okay, and there's a few half square triangles, but there's also a quarter square altered block as well. So we're gonna go through a couple of little techniques today. From your background fabric. Now, I used this green as my background fabric because I wanted my puppy dog to be in like a westy creamy colour. But you could do this in browns, you could do in blacks, and just use a pale background fabric. You could patchwork this. You could make like little tiny mini blocks. Do you know what I mean? Use your mini charms or something and make it more patchworky if you wanted to. You could use that strip technique we talked about on Monday and make it more stripy, okay? But I would maybe have a go at one like this first and then play around with them. So for my background fabric, which for me is green, but obviously it could be whatever you wanted it to be. Oh, I've just realised I've got the selvage on there and didn't realise. Never mind, I'm going to use it. It'll disappear into the seam allowance. You want 2 pieces, which are 2.5 by 8.5. There will be a full pattern on the website as soon as I get back over to the shop. I was up until 1:15 last night, still writing this, and then I couldn't sleep, so I cleaned my bathroom. You want, so that's 2.5 by 8.5. I want 2 3-inch squares. Okay, so I've got 2 3-inch squares. I want 1 3.5-inch square, and I want 1 2.5-inch square. I also then need 1 4.5 by 5.5, and 1 4.5 by 2.5, and then 1.5 by 12.5. Okay, so there are a lot of pieces. The pattern will be £2 as a digital download if you can't be asked to write all this down. Okay, and then from the dog fabric, whatever colour your dog's going to be, you want 4 2.5-inch squares. You want 1 5.5 by 8.5. You want 2 3-inch squares, and you want 1 3.5-inch square. And then if you're going to do his bow tie, you want a 2.5 square and a 3-inch square. Okay, so quite a lot of bits to remember there. Okay, so like I said, I've written the pattern all up with lots of diagrams and stuff. You can get it off the website if you want. We're going to start with one of these 2.5 by 8.5s, and you want a 2.5 bow tie one, and I want a 2 I'm dropping them all over the floor. Hang on. And a 2.5 body one. Okay, dog fabric, whatever fabric you're using for your dog. And put those bits aside like that. All right, let me get myself organised. Okay, I'm then going to. we're going to start basically by altering the block to make this piece here. Okay, I have put in the pattern as well about you can reverse this, so you could have them facing each other. You know, you could have one facing this way and one facing that way. If you look at if you do get the pattern and you want to do a reversed one, these are going to go in opposite directions, but don't worry too much about that now. We're just going to go with this one. Okay, so we're making this piece here to start with. So I'm going to draw lines on the back of both of my fabrics, so diagonal line right the way across on both. And while I'm doing that, any questions, any comments, anybody got anything to ask me, anybody got anything to tell me? No? There we go.
Sonia says, I was looking for a dog one after the cat one, but couldn't find one I like.
Oh, well, hopefully you like this one, darling. Excuse me. Right, I'm going to try and do this towards you. So, I want to put these, hang on, I've got to make sure I do them the right way around. I'm going to do it towards me and then flip it, because trying to do it upside down, I'll get it wrong. Like that. There we go. So, you're going to pop your bow tie side one on your right hand side, and can you see it comes down towards the centre, and your dog fabric, which is actually going to be his tail, down like that. So you want to make sure that those lines, this is facing you, are coming down to the bottom towards the centre bottom. Okay, going to stitch right down those lines. Okay, because we're just altering this block basically like a snowball. Okay, so we're going to stitch on those lines, and then I'll show you the next bit. So over to the sewing machine and talk to me please, ladies. What are you all up to? What's everybody doing? Are you out in the garden? Are you watching this from summer houses? Are you watching this from the garden? It's I hope it's a beautiful day by you guys. Any questions there, Al? Any comments?
Jean asked, what's the green fabric?
It should be on the website. I will. No, am I gonna? Oh, I'm gonna. That's gonna annoy me because I've got a bit of this. Oh, never mind. You're gonna have to ignore this, ladies. I don't want to. You know what? I'm not. I'm gonna cut another piece. Let's just quickly go over here a second. I'm gonna cut another piece because I'm just gonna unpick that because that selvage is too big. It's not gonna disappear. When I was cutting all these extra bits, I didn't realise I had the selvage in. Let me use the other one to start with, and then I'll cut another one later on. Okay. Unpick that one because that will bug me. I won't be able to use the block in anything because there'll be a big bit of white showing, and that'll really annoy me. I can't remember what they're called. Sarah, are you there, love? Can you answer Jean? I can't remember what they're called. They're quite new into the shop. We've got them in several colours.
Is it Studio E Just Colour?
That's it. Studio E Just Colour. Absolutely. Is that Sarah?
Yeah.
Cool. Well done, Sarah. We've got a couple of colours, in quite a few colours. We've got a red, a black, this lovely green, sort of apple green. There's an aqua as well, and something else. Can't remember what it is, but give us a ring if you want anything. Okay, if they're not on the website, I'm going to restitch those. I'm not going to use that piece because it would have bugged me. Any other questions, comments there, love? Anybody having a chat?
Lisa said, sat in the car park at work watching.
Oh, well, I hope you got the window down, so at least you got a bit of like fresh air and the sunshine, Han. But I love the fact you sat in the car. That's dedication, that is. That's dedication to the white gecko, that is. Just sit in your car so you can watch us. There we go. Okay, so all I've done is just stitch down those drawn lines. Okay. I would, again, I always check that I've done it right before I cut anything off, because I can unpick it if you know, once you've cut it, you're a bit knackered. So just push those out and make sure that they're going the right way, which they are. Are they? No, see, I did it wrong. Oh no, I haven't. I was confusing myself because I was doing it towards you guys. There we go. So that's going to be like that. Okay, which is how I want it to be. Double check. Yes. Okay, so now I can trim off that bit there, and you're just going to trim it off about 1/4 inch away. It's just a small seam allowance. Al, can you just turn that TV down just a weeny bit? I think it's booming a little bit. I was just going to turn the TV down. I don't know if you can hear it, guys, but it's booming a bit in my ear. So I'm going to set my seams like that, and then just very carefully press that out. Okay. We have got a couple of the cut and press boards in. I know somebody was asking us about it last week. We've got a couple of them back in stock now, so if anybody does want one, we've got some of the little multi-mats, which are the folding ones, but we have got some of these big ones back in stock now. They came in a couple of days ago. So there's my first little piece, the little altered block. Okay. Now I'm afraid it's time for some half square triangles. So you're going to need your 3-inch squares in your background fabric, which are those two. And I'm going to need my 3-inch squares from my dog fabric, which are those two. Okay. We are going to put these right sides together, just like we've done with lots and lots of half square triangles before, like that. Pop a diagonal line. Ooh, let's just line that one up because it's moved a weeny bit. There we go. Diagonal line, just like we did with this one to start with. Now this will make 4 half square triangles. You actually only need 3. So if you're doing right sides together, there we go. If you're doing more than one block, keep hold of the other half square triangle, because then you've only got to make 1 pair. If you make if you're making 2, you've got a spare one, haven't you? Because you only need 3. So standard half square triangles, we're going to go 1/4 of an inch down both sides. Okay, so back over to the sewing machine. Any questions, any comments there, Al?
Jean says can't hear the TV, so I think it's
Oh,
just
good.
us.
Oh, it sounded really loud. It was real boomy, bassy.
Pauline says that block behind you is making my eyes go funny.
Oh, is it lovely? Oh, do you want me to take it down? Do you want to set anybody's like migraine or anything like that off? That was the subscription box pattern this month. Was the surprise pattern that is in with it was a rainbow bargello. So that was the pattern this month. So hopefully you've all had your subscription boxes, or they are at least, well, they're all on their way to you. We've sent them all off, so some of you have had them already, I know. Okay, so we're going to stitch 1/4 line down both sides, cut up the middle, and press them out. Okay, we've done lots of half square triangles now, haven't we? Do you want me to take it down? Is it making your eyes go funny, people? I'm happy to if it. I don't want to, give anybody a migraine or anything. If it's
She just
making
said no, it's fine.
Oh, good. As long as it's not making, because our lovely Leslie, who passed recently, we used to have to move some fabrics because it would trigger like her migraines. When you get some with really thin stripes or things, it looks like they're moving, doesn't it? So when she was coming to the shop, we'd have to hide some fabrics sometimes away from her, so they were like not in eye level. There we go. So just going to press these ones out, and then we're going to square them up. So we started with 3-inch squares. We're going to square them down to 2.5. Okay. So again, please do tell me what you're up to. Please do have a chat with me while I'm doing this. So as per normal, we're going to put our diagonal line right down that seam. Make sure the 2.5 and 2.5 is within the fabric, and then we're going to trim them up. So go up that side, across the top, so hardly anything, but it's worth doing. And then I can do 2.5 and 2.5 that way. Okay. So, and while I do these 4, have a chat. Anybody there? Anybody got anything to tell me? Anybody? Oh, has anybody seen the fact that Sewing Bee is back? I think I read it was the 14th of April, might be the 17th, but on BBC One. I only saw it on Facebook just before I came over. Sewing Bee's back, so I'm very happy about that. Anything there, Al? Any questions, comments?
Jean says you could do a cushion with the cats and dogs.
Ah, yeah, nice. Yeah, nice idea. Yeah, you could do a cat one side, little puppy dog the other, and make like a nice rectangular cushion, couldn't you? You guys came up with some lovely ideas for the cat block last time. We talked about doing a cat of the month, didn't we? Cat, like wall hanging, where all the different cats' fabrics, use different fabrics that represented that month for each cat. So you could do the same with the dogs if you've got like a dog lover rather than a cat lover in your family. So here we go. So I've got 4 little half square triangles. I'm only going to need 3 of them. Okay, but I'm going to put that one just there. Keep those together. And then there's one other little element, which is this little block here. Oh. You can see this little block here. This is to give him his bow tie and like under his chin. All right, so we're going to do this one now, and then we can start putting it all together. So you're going to need your 3.5 in your background and 3.5 in your dog. And you're going to start exactly the same with a half square triangle. So we're going to put this right sides together like that, just exactly like we did the other one. And we're going to make a half square triangle. So any other questions, comments there, Al?
Jenny says, I saw it too, it starts in 2 weeks.
I know, exciting, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to stitch down 1/4 inch again.
Sean said Hachanda changed their name tomorrow if people don't already know.
They do, yeah. On the 1st of April. Oh no, I told you wrong about the friendship start. It's the 1st of April tomorrow, isn't it? I keep thinking it's Friday. So you've got till tonight to sign up if anyone else hasn't signed up and they want to. Yeah, Hachanda are changing their name. So they've had a big rebrand and they're changing their name, and it's now going to be called the Craft Store. Which is going to be very confusing because I'm going to have to try and get Hachanda out of my head now. I'm going on the craft store, not on Hachanda. So yeah, that's going to drive me potty. So I'm going to, again, sew down 1/4 inch either side, cut up that centre seam again, centre drawn line, and again I only need one of these. Okay, so if you're doing more than one block, keep this one for another block, but I only actually need one of these at the moment. So we're going to iron that out to start with, and then we're going to square this up to 3 inches. Okay, so square this up just like we did the others, but this one's going to go to 3 inches.
Jackie says, what's sewing bee?
So Great British Sewing Bee, it's been going for quite a few years now. It's normally on, I think it used to be on BBC Two, but it's BBC One now. And it's a bit like Great British Bake Off, but for sewing. Yeah, Sewing Bee's been going for a little while now. So yeah, check it out. I love it. I love it. Sorry, I need to slip my coffee. So I only need one of these. Like I said, keep this for another block. As you can see, these are all the ones from the sample one that I did. Okay, so we're going to keep that other one for another block. It's squared up to 3 inches. You now need your 3-inch piece of bow tie fabric. Okay, I'm going to draw a diagonal line across the back of this one, like that. Okay, and we're going to make like a 1/4 square triangle, an altered 1/4 square triangle. So if this line here is going that way, you don't want this one to go the same way. You need it to go the opposite way to like make a cross. So I'm going to turn it like that. Can you see? So when I stitch down 1/4 inch both sides, it's going to be opposite to this way, in the opposite direction. Okay, I'm going to do exactly the same as we just did. So 1/4 inch down both sides. Okay, so let's take this over to the sewing machine. But just make sure if you're doing this that it's the opposite way to that seam there. Okay, so over we go. Otherwise, it just ends up as a mess. So, what are your favourite? If you're going to join in on the challenge post, what are your favourite blocks? What's your favourite block to make? If I just want to do some sewing, if I just feel like making something, for me, it's a log cabin. I think they're so. Oh, just managed to come unthreaded. Sorry, 2 seconds. Come up. There we go. Let me just rethread her. She's just come unthreaded. It's a log cabin for me. I love a log cabin. I find them, I don't have to think about them too much now. I particularly like a cheap's log cabin because I really don't have to think about them too much. And I can just sew. It's nice, long, straight sewing. And I always think they're so effective. You can do so many different things with them. And you can play around with your colours and get so many beautiful effects and things. So I think my go-to block would be a log cabin. What about you guys? Anybody got a favourite that they go back to? Let us know in the comments. Alright, so I'll read them out if they come through. So, I've sewn 1/4 inch down both sides. Okay? Just like we did before. I'm going to cut up that line. Like that. Okay? And you've got, and I'm going to iron it towards the bow tie fabric because of the bulk here. I'm going to push it out to the bit that hasn't got any bulk. So set that seam.
Caroline says, I like a log cabin, very satisfying.
It is, isn't it? And it grows quickly and it feels like you've really achieved something relatively quickly.
Lisa says, Dresden plate.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good one. That's one of Linda's favourites, is a Dresden plate. Can you see that these are now opposites? Okay, again, you're only going to use one of these in the dog block, so you can keep the other one for a mirror image. But when we lay this out in a minute, we need to be careful about which one we use, because if I put them both like that, can you see that they're different? Okay, so when you make this block, you can use one for a right hand facing dog, and you can use the other for the left hand facing dog. Okay, they need to be squared up to 2.5. So back over we go. More squaring up.
And says Manx block for me.
Yeah. That would be my go-to if I was hand sewing, Anne. A Manx block, definitely. Machine sewing a log cabin, but if I'm hand sewing, that is where I go, is a Manx. I do love it. It's so restful and easy to do. I'm going to square both of them up, just because at the moment I can't remember which one it is that I need to use until I start laying them out. Okay, there we go. Like that. Anybody else got any favourite blocks they've done?
Susan Ann says my hexagon log cabin.
Ah, nice. Yeah, that's a lovely block too. Yeah, nice choice. Okay, so that's all the little pieces made, and we can now start laying this out. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this upside down towards you. In fact, I'm going to lie this one out like this, upside down, so I can get my head around it. You've got your body, okay? You've got your dog's body like that. And you should have some little 2.5s left, so he's going to have feet down there like that, okay? I need my altered block next. So there's his tail and the top of his bow tie. And this one, which I'm going to recut, is going to go in there like that. Okay, you should have, where's the rest of my little green bits? Where's it gone? There it is. That's your little 4.5 by 2.5, which is going to go between his legs like that. Okay, this one here, which is I think was 4.5 by 5.5. Yeah, that's going to go there. Okay, we've got to make his head. So I'm going to try and do this upside down for you guys. Right, I need an ear. Okay, so an ear is going to go like that. Can you see the direction that line's going? So follow the line of the bow tie like that. There's his ear. And then I've got a little background square in the corner. Okay, got a little 2.5 inch for his face like that. And then we want another half square triangle for his nose. So that's going to go like that. Okay, so there's his ear and down his nose. Okay, another, see, that's my spare one, don't need that one. That one there is going to go like that to make like it's his nose, isn't it, and then down under his mouth. And then this, the last one to go in is you've got to work out which one you need of these, which is not that one. Can you see, because the background's wrong? It's that one. Okay, now if this was the opposite way, okay, so let me show you just very quickly. So if all this was going this way, right, I'm going to put that one upside down. So there's his bow tie. You would use the other one. Okay, can you see that you would use the other one like that? Okay, so it would go the other way. All right, so you can do the mirror image. Hopefully that makes it. Did that make sense, or did I just really confuse the issue then? Let's put this back together a second. Like that, like that. Let's get his nose in, and then I want the bow ties to come in together to a point, and that should be background against there, dog against dog, and the background against background. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to lay it out like that. You now need to look at it and then think about how you're going to put these pieces together. So you can't sew it in rows because things overlap and stuff. So you're going to look at it in sections. This goes on at the end, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, but if you now do that, can you see that all this is going to go together in pieces? So we're going to start by putting the 2 feet pieces to this little bit here. So right sides together, 1/4 of an inch, and that will then make it long enough at the right size to go on the body. So we're going to do that first. Any other questions, comments there while I'm doing this?
Margaret and Jean both said makes sense.
Good. Yeah, when I did that little 1/4 square thing and I was trying to work it out and blah blah blah, and I was like, this isn't fitting, I've done it wrong, what have I done? And then realised the other one was the opposite way. Being really stupid. Really stupid. Trying to work it out, trying to make it so we had a little bow tie and mess around with the block, and then my brain was like, it's not working. And I just picked up the wrong piece, not thinking of course they're going to be opposites because we've used a 1/2 square triangle. So I'm going to press this in towards the green, okay, like that, and press this one in towards the green like that, okay. And this now can go on the bottom of his body. You can see it's now the right length. So we're going to sew that one to that one, like that. And we're going to build him up. You know, just have a little look at the block when it's laid out and think, right, if I attach that one to that one, can I then attach it to the next piece? Because sometimes you can't. Sometimes you might need to do another little step, attach another piece before it all go together. So it's always worth just double checking when you've laid something out and think, right, okay, how's this going to go together? Because it's not always just in rows. So, any comments there, love? Who else is having a chat? Anybody there having a chat?
Not since everyone posted their favourite blocks.
Oh, what other blocks is there? Anybody else told me some of their favourite blocks?
Sonia said, I love a star type block.
Nice. Yeah, we do a lot of star blocks as well. I quite like a star block. Okay, so now I'm going to add in his bow tie and his tail, like that. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one onto that one, like that. Okay. Anything else there? Oh, hopefully I'm going to see all your blocks because you're all going to come onto the challenge post and post me your favourite block that you've made. Okay. If you want to win that sewing machine bag. Here we go. So I've done that one. Again, I'm going to iron these towards the body because there's a lot more fabric there and it'll lie flatter. If you try and iron that way, you're fighting against all this bulk. Okay, so just make it go that way first, and then I can just gently press him that way. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to attach this one to this one. Okay, I'm going to cut another piece, otherwise I'll have to unpick it. I'm going to cut another piece. I'm going to do this bit first. So I'm going to make this as a little 4 patch like that, and then those like that, and add all that bit together. So we're going to sew this one to this one. And again, I would do this piece by piece so that they don't get turned around. It's so easy to accidentally sew something, on the wrong edge. So I'm going to sew, I know I want that one to that one, so I'm going to sew that together. Okay. Lots of little bits, but it's nothing overly difficult. Okay. So, excuse me, she knows again. It's hay fever, I think. Hay fever season, isn't it? So that's that one, and then I'm going to do the next 2, so that one to that one, like that. Any other questions there? Any other comments?
Nothing else has come through.
Nothing else has come through. There you go. I'm trying to think of something to make with those blues. I love them. Well, it's got script in it, and you know how much I wax lyrical about script fabrics. I love them. So there we go. So I'm going to put these 2 together now, and I've ironed them both towards the plain square so that they'll nest nicely. So I can nest that centre seam. Just double check I've put that together right. Yep, like that. And then we're going to sew those together. So it's just building up lots of little bits. Anybody else there having a chat?
We're just not getting anything.
Not getting any comments today. They've done this new update on Facebook, and yesterday when I went back to just check through your comments and all, there were loads that we didn't see live. I hate it when they do a new update, because then you end up having to spend weeks getting all your settings changed again. So I've got a little block that looks like that at the moment. I'm going to grab my next two and stitch those together. So again, make sure that those are right sides. And I'm going to start off quite slowly. I don't know if you heard that. I started off quite slowly because they were like half square triangle seam against half square triangle seam right at the top, and sometimes your fabric can get dragged down into the feed dots. So if you go really slowly those first couple of stitches, just to give it time to pick up. And then I'm going to iron that way.
Jenny says, I love script fabrics too.
Yeah, I love anything with wording on. I'm a right sucker for them. I'm going to pop this one on like this. So I'm just building those little 2.5 inch altered pieces up together. Just nest that because it moved. There we go. Okay. Now see, went too fast and it at the end. Okay. Nope. I've got a little knot of fabric now. Hang on, I'm going to flip it over and do it the other side. Let's flip it over and do it that side. It might work then. Oh yeah, that's a nasty old knot of thread. Got it. It's one of the unfortunate things of working with really small little pieces. You could use a leader, what they call a leader, just a little bit of scrap fabric and sew that first. There we go. So, okay, that's his little face done. Over here like that. Okay, and now I can sew this piece onto there. Okay, so I'm going to add that one on. Sorry, Al, it's lots of backwards and forwards in today, isn't it? Driving you mad. Anybody else having a chat there?
Anne says, I really like the blue fat quarters.
They're yummy, aren't they? I'm going to have to do something with them. I love that colour blue, it's stunning. Blue, I'm definitely a blue girl though. I like blues. Blues and aquas. Okay, right. So, you can see that's it building up like that. Okay, I'm just going to very quickly cut another piece of that green if I've got any more of that green. Have I got any more of that green anywhere? Thought I had a little bit left. Maybe I haven't. Oh, yes I have. There we go. Okay, so it was a 2.5 by 8.5. There we go. Let's just quickly cut a new 2.5 by 8.5 inch strip off here. Let's get it out of that one. See, that serves me right for not checking before I cut, isn't it? There we go. Let's do that. Cut a new piece. So, anyone else there having a chat just while I'm doing this? Oh. No?
Jenny says, I tried to make a sky dog block before, but the piece was so tiny, I hid it in the bottom drawer.
Fair enough. Oh, these aren't tiny pieces. This will be a 12.5 inch finished block. Okay, there we go. Got. Is that right? That looks too big now. No, it's right. It's deceiving. Right, I'm gonna sew those two together like that, and then we can put them all together. Yeah, these aren't too small. These pieces, they're relatively good size. There we go, down there like that. You could then add just a little border to him, but I quite like the idea of them facing each other. You can put a little heart up on the top and all, couldn't you? There we go. So that one's like that, and then this one's going to go on like that. Okay, that one's gone that way. I'm just going to re-iron that one so it goes the opposite way so that I can nest those points. There we go. Because I want them to nest there and there. Okay, so I'm going to add this one onto the side. Make that one go in there like that. And I am going to use some pins at this point just because there's a lot of points that I want to match. So I'm going to add one in there like that. And then that one's going to go like that. There we go. And then there's no join there. There's nothing else to nest, but I'm just going to pop a pin in just to hold that down. And we're going to sew that last seam up like that. Anybody else there having a chat?
Carolyn says, I'm glad it's not just me that knots at the start.
Oh.
I started using a leader fabric. It's much
Yeah.
better.
I'm considering buying the straight stitch plate for my machine because I don't often do decorative stitches or zigzag. 90% of my work is straight stitching. So by putting the straight stitch plate on, it covers all the holes around the feed dogs. Your feed dogs still work, but you haven't got that sort of space where the needle goes in, so it can't get dragged in. It's just like one tiny little hole for the needle to go down. Apparently, it will solve all those issues. If you do a lot of zigzagging or decorative stitching, I imagine it's a bit of a pain to have to keep changing the plate. But I don't do a lot of that, so I might get one, because I do find that with the smaller the pieces, the harder it is to stop them happening. Like, you know, stop them dragging down and all gets eaten up, doesn't it, and knotted. It needs to go that way. Let's give this a good press like that. So there you go, he's nearly there. And then at the moment he's not quite square, so it's just a 1.5 by 12.5 across the top. Okay, like that, which I'm going to do very, very quickly for you. And there's your 12.5 inch block finished. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, do that last little seam, and your whole block's done. What was that? I know I did the cutting beforehand, but you know, when you if you're going to make more than one of these, you could do all your cutting and then just sit and sew. Probably half an hour for a block. It's not bad, and that's with me chattering on as well. You know, if I was concentrating. Here we go. So, but you could change the colour of his bow tie. You know, you could do all sorts, couldn't you, with him? Okay, like that. There we go. So there he is. He's all finished. You can see that it looks like he's lost his tail point, but that would be my joining, my 1/4 inch seam allowance there. Okay, and there you go. I've got 2. So you could make a whole little row of puppies, or like I was saying, if you want to do that reversed image, if you want to do a mirror imaged one. So I know that's the back of it, but it'll end up like that. So you've got them facing each other, having a little chat, little puppy chat, and you would use that one then, okay, because it would go the other way around. You'd use your the only difference is how you lay it out, and you use that piece for there, and then you change those 2 round. Okay, so you just have the bow tie over here, because if I do that, you can see the bow. Imagine that's right sides up. That's that piece like that, isn't it? There, okay, and then this is on the other side. All right, so there you go. This squat dog. I don't know why he's called Squat Dog, because I was sending images to the girls last night when I was playing around with this, because originally this was bigger, this was different here, and he was really fat. His body was that size, and then these tiny little legs out the bottom. So you imagine, like, all this was cream, and then he had tiny little legs out the bottom like that, and that was cream, that bit, and he was just massive. And I was like, I don't like him, so I messed around with the sizes. And then decided I like the little bow, give him a bow tie. So, any questions or comments there before I go, hun?
Yeah. Angela says, what stitch size are you using?
On this one, I've got it set at 2.5. For like when we were talking yesterday about the Seminole quilting, I would go down to 2 on that. I want a much closer stitch on it, but I tend to do most of my stitching on 2.5. 2.3, 2.5-ish.
Both Anne and Jenny both said didn't know you could get a different plate.
You can buy a straight stitch plate for your machines. Come over here a minute, Al. Let me see if I can. Let me drop that foot off a second. You might be able to see past it. So can you see this little? I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this little piece here? That's where the needle goes in. Okay. And you've got quite a lot of holes and stuff here as well, okay? On a straight stitch plate, that little piece there is literally this size. It's tiny. it's just enough for your needle to go in. Because what happens with those small pieces is as the needle goes in at the very edge, they get pushed like that into that gap because it's quite big. So if you're trying to do something really small right on the very edge, they get dragged into there. So the straight stitch plate is literally just like a tiny single circle there, and the rest of this is solid, so that it literally just allows the needle like there and there to get in, nothing more. Okay, so yeah, I'm considering buying one, because the only thing is this is why I want a Benina eventually. I will afford one eventually. The plates, as Kathleen will tell you, the plates are like snap-in, snap-off ones. You can change them in seconds. Where this one, you have to unscrew it, take it off, and then screw the new one on, which is a bit of a pain if you want to then do a zigzag 5 minutes later and then go back to straight stitch. But I do a lot of straight stitching, so I might get one and see if it works. It's supposed to. It's supposed to fix all that eating of the fabric problem. Any other questions there, love?
There's a lot of great blocks. Lovely. Yeah.
Fabulous. Glad you liked him. I was quite pleased with him, Squat Dog. I will put the pattern on to digital downloads, and they'll go into the quilt blocks section. I'll do them for £2, just like all the other ones are. So if you don't want to have to listen to me ramble on again to get all those measurements, I've written it all out, and there's some little pictures and stuff there, so you can see what you're doing. Okay. Any other questions just before we go?
Anne says you wouldn't be able to move your needle over to 1/4.
No, you can't. You have to use a 1/4 inch foot with it, so you can't do that. You know, like on these machines, you can move your needle to a 1/4 inch away from your standard foot. You can't do that. It's got to be in a central position. But I do use my 1/4 inch foot a lot with my blade on it. So yeah, it's one of those things. They're not overly expensive. They're not cheap, but they're not overly expensive. I might get one and have a play, see how much I get irritated by having to swap them. But I don't change. Like, I know Sarah does. Sarah changes her when she's sewing. She doesn't change feet very often. She changes the width of her needle. I don't. I tend to change the foot. That tends to be how I sew. So I think it depends on what type of sewer you are. You know, I tend to use a lot of different feet. You know, I was using that one yesterday. You know, I tend to have a lot of feet out, and I'll change the foot rather than change the position of the needle very often. So we all sew differently, don't we? We all have our own little things that we like. Anything else there?
Yeah, there's a couple more thank yous.
That's all right. No problem. I will see you now on Tuesday. Sarah's back tomorrow, and she's going to be broadcasting from the shop because I've got a Zoom class. So I'll see some of you lovely ladies tomorrow on Zoom. And Sarah's going to be doing how to baste by yourself over at the shop. And then we're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So there's no 1 o'clock on Monday. So our next 1 o'clock will be Tuesday. I'm going to be working over the weekend on a little project with Josh, because Josh has said he'll come this side. So Al, you're going to have to film, and no taking the mickey, because Josh is going to be this side with me. But we're going to do like something real beginners type stuff that, you know, that you could maybe do with your grandkids, you know, or if you're a newbie to us and you've not really sewn before, but you happily watch along, we're going to do something, and Josh is going to have a little go, just to prove that anybody can sew, because if Josh can do it, anybody can do it. He might chicken out, mind. He might have a go on Sunday and he's like, I'm not doing this. But we'll try and get him on. And I don't think we've decided what else we're doing. So, but we will see you next week. Have a lovely, happy Easter, everybody. I hope you all get to, you know, do something pleasant over the weekend. If not actually see family, at least be able to FaceTime and stuff. So have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Happy Easter. Bye.